Tonight, we have team coverage of what happened and the recovery process moving forward. Ward Jollis and Grace Salch are live at the scene right now. We go to Ward first. And Ward, you talked to a man who was just feet away from all of this when it happened.
That's right, Amber. He was actually a construction worker who was pouring concrete at a driveway just next door. He was the closest one to the scene, and what he did shortly after was nothing short of heroic.
It was the sound heard across Oregon Friday morning, an early morning explosion, reducing a brand new duplex to rubble in a split second.
Possible structure fire / explosion in the area of Bergamot and Oregon Parks Road.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
I heard the explosion and then saw there was 4x8 sheets of plywood raining from the sky, shingles, insulation.
Construction worker Jon Mountford was working on a house just feet away from the blast. In a split second, he ran into the fire to help.
It's kind of an instinct. I'm like, I got to run over there and see what's going on, see if anybody's in the house. And the garage door had gotten blown off.
What Mountford saw was almost beyond belief.
There was a small dog just kind of shaken by the door. When I opened the door, it ran into the garage, and we grabbed it and got it to a neighbor. And then I went back in and just started yelling, "Is anybody in here? Anybody in here?"
Luckily, no one was inside, and emergency crews were on the scene within minutes to tame the fire. Meanwhile, neighbors looked on in disbelief, helping in any way they could.
And I was getting ready for school, about to get in the car, and flames were just coming from the house, and fire trucks were pulling up.
An unoccupied duplex was completely destroyed. 2 other homes nearby also a total loss. But Mountford, who saw the destruction firsthand, says he can't believe it wasn't worse.
So yes, it is definitely a miracle that nobody got hurt.
And Amber, there's still no word tonight from fire officials on what exactly caused the fire, although they do believe it was gas-related. What we do know is that no one was hurt, luckily, and that's where I'm going to bring in reporter Grace Salch. And Grace, you actually spoke to one of the families that is now homeless tonight, and how are they moving forward?
That's right, Ward. Understandably, when I ran into this family, they did not want to talk after the day they had, and they were bringing their young daughter by the house to show her what it looked like, to help her understand what had happened here today. They have family in the area, so they say to keep everyone as comfortable as they can. They'll be staying with people they know and love. The Red Cross has reached out to the 2 families impacted. Justin Kern, the regional communications director for the Red Cross, says there were a total of 8 people displaced by today's explosions and fire. The 2 families, each with 2 children.
Make sure they've got somewhere to stay, temporary lodging, things like meals, maybe some replacement clothes, those kind of things. Just really the basics as they kind of begin what might be unknown right now in terms of the length of time with the recovery.
Kern says they're entering the casework side of things to discuss longer-term needs. And as soon as neighbors found out what was going on, there were people flocking to social media to find ways that they could help. Of course, people can always donate to the Red Cross donation pool, but neighbors have set up a GoFundMe to help these families, and that link will be on our website. Live in Oregon, Grace Salch, 27 News.
And what a day they've had there. Ward, Grace, thank you. And I spoke to the fire chief just before coming on air, and he said over the next week they'll be trying to remove some of the debris and get into the basement of the home to investigate further what caused the explosion. At this point, they believe it could be gas-related, as Ward mentioned.